Hello, my name is Miss Carr, and this is the science lesson for week 6. Review from last week. Animals have body parts that help them get food. A giraffe uses their long neck and sticky tongue to grab leaves from a tree. A tiger uses their eyes to find food at night. A fox uses their ears to listen for animals it can hunt. A bear uses their sharp claws to grab fish from the water. A frog uses their sticky tongue to grab insects. Gills versus lungs. Gills are body parts that take in oxygen from the water. Fish have gills. Lungs are body parts that take in oxygen from the air. Land animals and humans have lungs. You look at this shark, here's a close picture of their gills. This week we're going to be talking about how plants and animals respond to their environment. Plants change to grow. Have you ever seen trees like this? These trees are growing in unusual ways. This tree is growing that way, this tree is growing this way, this tree is growing that way. And the reason why is because they're growing towards the sunlight. Trees and other plants need sunlight to grow. So that's why they're leaning that way, because the sun is over here, and over here, and over there. A rainforest has tall trees. Some plants grow on trees to reach the sunlight. So sometimes you'll see a really, really tall tree, and then you'll see another plant or a vine growing up the tree. And the reason why is because they're trying to reach the sunlight. A desert gets very little rain. Many desert plants have thick stems and leaves to hold water. Plants have adaptations to live in different places. An adaptation is something that helps a living thing survive in its environment. An environment is all the living and non-living things in a place.
What helps animals and plants to survive in different environments? What if a polar bear was moved to the desert? What would happen? What if we tried to plant an orange tree in the north? Would it grow? What if the swamp cypress was placed in the forest? What if the tiger was placed in the Arctic? Would it survive? What is it that helps all these plants and animals survive in the environment they're in? Let's take a look at the anteater. The anteater lives in South America in the rainforest. Take a look at his tongue. It's super long. Why do you think he would have such a long tongue? The anteater gets its name because it eats ants and termites. Without the anteater's long tongue, it would not be able to get ants from nests. What about the cactus? Why is the cactus so prickly? Since the cactus usually lives in the desert, it uses the spiny needles to help keep predators away. I want you to think about another animal. Think about the alligator. What characteristics does the alligator have that helps it survive? Sometimes animals are born with characteristics that help them survive in their environment. Take a look at this picture. Can you find the animal? Do you give up yet? Look closely, right there. The leopard is hiding. What about this picture? Are you able to find the animal in their own environment? What characteristics does this animal have that helps them to survive? Take a closer look. What would happen if this bird was red or orange, like the birds of the rainforest? Some animals have certain behaviors that help them to survive. For example, polar bears have to hibernate in the winter. In order for birds to survive, someone has to teach them how to fly. I want you to take a look at one last animal, the swan. What physical characteristics help this animal to survive in their environment? Think about its feet. Think about the size of it, the color. Do any of these things help this animal to survive? Now think about some of the behaviors that this animal has. Knowing what you already know about birds, do you think that the baby swans would have to learn something from their mother in order for them to survive in their environment? There's one more thing that actually might help this swan survive, but we have to think beyond just this animal. What is it that helps the whole species of swan survive? Take a look at the number of eggs this swan has laid. Why do you think that there are so many eggs? Will all the eggs hatch? What if the swan only laid one egg? Would things be different? In your STEM journal, I'd like for you to write down the characteristics of the swan that you notice.
All right, we're going to
What are
stop
some
right
of the
there.
physical characteristics?
You don't have a STEM journal, so don't worry about that. All right, so plants and seasons. How do plants survive in different seasons? Winter, spring, summer, fall. Some trees lose their leaves in winter because there is less sunlight. In spring and summer, more sunlight and water help new leaves grow. In fall, leaves change color and begin to drop off because it's getting colder out and the leaves are dying. Animals use senses. A prairie dog uses its eyes and nose to notice the things around it. It will warn others if it sees or smells danger. A great white shark has eyes that see well. It uses its ears to feel movements in the water. A mouse does not see well at night. It uses its nose to smell for food, and it uses its whiskers to feel in the dark. Moles, they do not see well either. What body parts do you think it uses to notice things in food? Nose, eyes, or whiskers? If you said nose and whiskers, you are correct. It uses its nose to smell food and its whiskers to feel for things around it. Animals on the move. Why do some animals move to other places when the weather changes? Every year, wildebeest travel a long way to find food. They move to where it rains and plants grow. Gray whales live in cold water. Every winter, they swim to warmer waters to have young. In winter, emperor penguins move away from the ocean to have young. By summer, their young are big enough to swim and hunt. So, why do some animals move to another place when there are changes in the weather? To find food, to hide from danger, or to have young? If you said to find food and to have young, you are correct. Animals and seasons. What adaptations help animals live in the same place all year? To get ready for winter, a groundhog eats a lot of food. Then it digs a home under the ground and sleeps all winter long. And if that means you think of a bear and how a bear hibernates during the winter, you are correct. It does the same thing. A red fox grows thick fur and eats more to get ready for winter. So it grows fur like it's putting on an extra jacket. Let's take it further. Careers in science and engineering. A forest ranger. A forest ranger works to protect places where plants and animals live. A forest ranger watches for forest fires. A fire can quickly destroy plants and animals. It can also harm people visiting the forest. A forest ranger tells people about the plants and animals that live in the forest. The ranger talks about how to protect the plants and animals that live in a forest. Look at this photo of the forest ranger. What is this forest ranger doing? Choose the best answer. Is he watching for fires, helping an animal, or teaching people? If you said teaching people, you are correct. All right, that is our science lesson for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.